here.
Hey, good morning, everybody. Dano the Rust Buster coming at you again from Lantana, Florida with Danny's 68 GTO. I want to show you what we got done the other day before I took a day off. And like I promised, I'm going to give you a couple of prices to help some of you guys with this body style get you into the park, kind of wrap your head around it a little bit. First, I want to show you what we finished up the other day. The rocker, as you remember, was all blown out on just the side here, and up into the corner of the door jamb was all blown out like usual. What I did was I just made I salvaged from the new part this long strip, fabricated my parts here, left the saddle so it looks original, and then brought it back to here. And of course you see the seam that I like to go after and get that dressed in. Today what we're going to be doing is so we're going to be starting on this side. And what we're going to be after is this hole up here on the roof. These are always really interesting because there's a little bit of a transition here, and that's got to be followed all the way up so the body guys don't have to fill it so much. It tapers down to almost zero. It's an interesting little trick, and I'll be posting on that. We got door bottoms down here, very typical for these GTOs, Chevelle 442, pretty much all these vintage cars. They blow out in the corners. This is very, very typical. So I just make these parts. We're not going to mess around with the lower part of the drip pan quite yet. I'm going to get the fenders worked up first before I install those. Then we'll get to this. But as you can see, again, the doors on the bottom need some attention. They're usually up here in the corners. The bottoms aren't quite so bad. Now, what we will be doing is this floor has been worked before. It had a full pan put in, but even after 30 years, and when they get to be 50 years old, they do rust again. So we're gonna replace this, and it's gonna go right around to here, right to here, up to that corner, up to the kick pan, and then tie it in. Excuse me. Those floor pans, I usually get $250 per section. Okay, and if it's the four of them, that ends up being $1,000 for remove and replace of those 4 sections. If it's a full floor and it's really blown out, it can get up to about $1,200–1,300. Okay, to do that. That doesn't include. That's for installation. I can't tell you what the price is for the parts. Different cars, there's different manufacturers for replacement parts, and you can get the Taiwanese, the OPDIs, which are the Taiwanese are the cheap ones. The OPDIs made in America, they're really nice, but they're super expensive. It really depends. You got to shop around. The owner's got to shop for his replacement parts. If you're just doing the one on the driver's side where we're doing the left and right, those can even come from eBay. They're really not so nice to look at, but they're really cheap. And either which way, I gotta fit it in. So I can fit pretty much anything into a floor. And once the carpet goes down and all that stuff goes down, it's never seen again. And even if the next owner doesn't like the way it came out, he can replace them. They're really pretty straightforward. I make a nice, neat package on it, but I don't get really crazy with the restoration detail. The other day, this was blown out. That's where I cut my finger, and that was the seam where the last guys. It's not finished being dressed in, and there's a little bit of a lift here that I kind of missed. I'm going to hog that out and get her dressed in the rest of the way, and she'll be pretty close, ready for finishing. And while we're here, the rockers are pretty much the same. If it's just the outside rocker and the inside rocker isn't bad, I get about $600 per side on these. The parts are pretty cheap for that. Lower rear quarters, let's say from here down, that would probably be anywhere from 4 to 550, because there's also the inner part that could be shot out. Up on top here, this one wasn't replaced, but I've done it I don't know how many times before. The replacement panel is about this big and goes about to here, and that's probably in the 550 range. Okay. A filler panel, I could do those for just over 400 to get that tied in. When it comes to around the glass work, you never know what you're going to find. It could be just a couple of small holes, which it does happen. Sometimes it's really blown out all the way around. That's by the hour. I can't estimate that. But what I can tell you is the trunks. When it comes to trunks, I really put a lot into these because they're extremely important for optimizing value. Underneath here is a couple of supports. Okay, they attach to the bottom of the floor pan, trunk pan rather. They attach there, and then there's a couple of body mounts under there. Sometimes that part is still good, and I cut it all around it and put the new one on top. This trunk kit was a 3-piece. One all the way over to here, one right up the middle, and one all the way over to the right side. I almost always find holes in the wheelhouse, and those get taken care of. To install a trunk is anywhere from $900 to $1,500. It takes a long time. There's a lot of detail, and once again, it's very critical to maintaining the value of the car. That's one of the first places people look, because there's no carpet back there. There's nothing there. They can just pull up the mat. There it is. You start seeing pop rivets and roofing tar. You're done. That's about that. This center panel in the trunk is very typical for these cars, the Chevelles, the GTOs, like I said. This one, the center panel is about $500 in labor to replace, and with that, this drip edge that goes all the way around is usually blown out too, because I've got to make that. These can really get to be detail heavy, especially when it comes to fitting them up. It has a lot to do with how high and low the quarters and how the trunk fits and like that. And that, the trunk drip edge or gasket frame, call it what you will. Some of them are blown all the way around. The filler panel is not part of this. It's a 2-piece assembly. The cross member comes up underneath here and returns, and then the filler panel mates up to it, and it's welded along here, pinch welds from the factory. Every car is different. Some of them are really good. This one, as you can see right here, this is really clean all the way around here. I just need to make up this corner. This is clean all the way across, but over there it's blown out. It's really, every car is different, and I can't even put I can actually. When I go all the way around here with this drip edge, that ends up being about $700, because it's got to fit right. That's where the gasket goes. If the gasket doesn't lay down right, you're already letting the water in, and it's pretty much game over. Well, that's about it from Lantana. I hope that helps you out a little bit. And I'll be updating again probably tomorrow or the day after, and then it's time to move on to the, I think it's a 66 Olds Cutlass over in Boynton. We'll be going for there, and that should be just about ready for finish up. Until then, have yourself a nice day. Bye-bye.